Today, we're picking up a sandbag and carrying it around for 20 minutes. Something heavy if you don't have a sandbag. Not a gym move, real fitness for life, especially if you're a busy dad. This is the kind of strength you actually need. Carrying, working, moving, lifting, like your kids. If you're new here, this is the 5 a.m. Squat Club, a full, built for you, follow along morning routine that we get together and do together every day at 5 a.m. We prime our minds, warm up the body, move with intensity like the sandbag carry today, and then we take action towards our goals together. So if you are interested in rebuilding your life, this is where you start. Today's topic is about the spring grind and about planting in the spring so that you can reap in the fall, whether it's the season of the year or the season of your life. We're going to talk about it. First step, before we move our bodies, we're going to choose our first thoughts today. Let's go. All right, we're here, we're in it. Step one is a squat. So we're going to get our feet underneath our hips, heels down on the ground. If you feel like you're going to fall over, you could grab onto a counterbalance in the form of some weight out in front. While we're here, we're going to go over what we call our mental reps. And while we do that, you can follow along with a box breath. 4-second inhale, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, and a 4-second hold. So first one is I am responsible. And that's about me having goals, but knowing that it's on me to achieve them. Nobody is going to come and do it for me. Nobody's going to wake me up early in the morning. I need to take ownership. I need to take accountability. And that goes for the negative as well. If something goes wrong, I'm going to take accountability for it. Next is I will make time between the stimulus and the response. And that's just about, as a parent, there are lots of stressful stimuli potentially, screaming kids, this thing, whatever it is. Can I take a moment before reacting and respond in a better, more calculated way? Next, I have all I need to succeed today, and we'll focus on progress over perfection. Progress is the only way to get anywhere. There's no such thing as reaching your goals in one step and expecting perfection. So if you can change your mindset to, I'm just going to get a little bit better every day, then those goals and those achievements become very realistic because you're building the staircase to get there. And then last one is I choose gratitude. I want to make sure that I'm seeing the positive and enjoying the process, at least a little bit. I'm not looking for la-di-da happiness all the time. I'm aiming for productiveness, but if I only focus on the things that are wrong and that need fixing, that's all I'll see, and I won't see any positive. So make sure that we are looking at the things that are good and that are happy and that are positive so that we see more of that as well. All right, next step, we're going to get in our warm-up. Let's go. All right, step one, as it is every morning, once we have gotten up out of bed, team, it is to get up off the floor. So we're gonna go 2 minutes straight here. Nice easy pace, get yourself on the ground and then back up. We'll get a little hop and celebrate at the top because we were able to do so. And we're just gonna move steadily. If you want increasing the pace here for 2 minutes, you can walk yourself down to the floor, you can walk yourself back up, or you can hop. Whatever feels right for you. We are just telling the body that it's time to begin, that we are about to do some intensity, and that we're gonna make sure that we get the body prepared physically, mentally, before we go. Well, mentally, I don't know. Physically, we're gonna do our best job here. And what we're talking about a little bit this morning is the idea of spring. And, we'll talk about it in two ways. One is the seasonal spring, just like is happening here in the Northern Hemisphere right now as we're transitioning into some warmer weather. And what I mean by taking advantage of the spring grind is that this is the time for laying the foundation. Be it actually physical springtime where you're planting physical seeds and preparing for, maybe growing food or something, or the metaphorical spring in our lives where if we want something in the future that the groundwork needs to be laid now, right? Build the foundation in the spring, tend to it over the summer, reap in the fall. But if you don't plant in the spring, there's no one else to blame but yourself. But understand that it's necessary for those goals, for that progress, to set it up, right? Lay the groundwork, call it plant the seeds in the spring. All right, next step of the warm up. Step 2. We're gonna get in some general warm up here. If you don't like jumping first thing in the morning, you can start with a standing march. Otherwise, we're gonna start off with some jumping jacks, maybe 30 seconds worth or so. Just aiming to warm up the ankles a little bit, get the coordination going. We're aiming to clap the hands together overhead and behind you. And then while we're here, chat briefly about getting up. Right? Obviously, we are here getting up early in order to prioritize our progress. But in order to do that consistently, which is the key, is we got to go to bed early. So let me know in the chat and the comments, what time did you get to bed? Maybe how many days in a row have you been getting up early? For me, I was in bed 8:45. Slept pretty well. And this is day, might be 339, 340. Next one is our inchworm, on the warm up. So you're gonna walk yourself out to a nice tight plank position and then walk yourself back. And we can stand in between. So hands to the floor, walk it out, squeeze everything, and then we'll walk it back. Good morning, Yaroslav, Chris, Jody, Ryan, Terry. What time do we get to bed? How many days in a row of getting up early and maintaining that habit are we at? We'll get 5 reps here. Ryan, got my t-shirt, coach. Fantastic. Keep it white. I'd love to see a photo of that, Ryan. Did you get the hat first or is the hat coming second? I know that there was an embroidery question on the hat that it asked me, and I think it should be cleared up, so I don't know when that hat's coming. All right, one more inchworm. And then we're gonna go to our lunge and twist. So we're gonna come back down to the plank position again. We're gonna take one foot outside the hands. If that's a little bit tight, you can always shift yourself back so that you can get that front shin vertical. And then you're gonna take the elbow that's on the same side as that bent knee. Hat second, nice. Work that elbow down towards the ground. And then reach to the ceiling. And we're gonna get at least 5 cycles of that. You can take that back knee off the ground if you want a little more active. Elbow to the floor, hand to the ceiling. On that note, there is merch on the website. The first link in the description. If you like following the 5 a.m. squat club, there's some stuff on that in our shop on the website. Ryan's getting a hat and a t-shirt. All the shirts are full cotton. I think they might even be organic cotton. We're trying to get away from plastic as much as we can on our skin and our bodies. You should listen to there's an episode of Joe Rogan recently talking about microplastics and plasticizers and all that, and we need to do a better job of cleaning that up. Let's switch sides if you haven't. Oh yeah. Woo. Mr. Adam, I missed yesterday's YouTube live stream progress. My ocular nerve pressure was up in my eyes. Sorry to hear that, Mr. Terry. Hope you're feeling better. You know what you could do is join us for some exercise. That'd be great for you. So many plastics, says Jody. Yeah, it's crazy. It's everywhere. You should listen to that episode. It's nuts. They're talking about fertility rates very specifically, and our fertility rates are dropping, so definitely important. My daughter did ask why the bearded man was pooping. Is that the logo on the t-shirt? Is that what you mean? Funny. Yaroslav, 10 p.m., 8 out of 10. Not sure how many days total, but a lot. Fantastic, Yaroslav. Killing it. And how are you feeling? I know you were a little bit, feeling a little bit tired last week or so. Chris, 10:30, day 9 in a row. I love it. 10:30, that's not bad. You're working your way towards pre-10 o'clock. I like that. All right. I'm not focused on the warm-up enough. Next, let's come on up and swing a leg. Grab onto the wall if you want. Watch out, Maple. Well, these have been feeling very tight recently. Don't worry, tomorrow we've got our active recovery day. Should help to loosen us up a little bit, set us up for next week. We've got a pretty simple does not equal easy though workout today. Basically just a grit grinder. Hang on, get uncomfortable, and try to stay with it. And we'll switch sides here. Get another 10 or so cycles, trying to keep that torso tall. Should be starting to feel a little bit warm by now. Right, body temperature coming up, maybe a little bit sweat happening. A few more reps here, and then we're gonna get down into our squat position. Our favorite spot here on the 5 AM Squat Club. So feet go underneath the hips, and we're gonna sit all the way down. If you feel like you're gonna fall over backwards there, you could always just come down and hold onto a counterbalance in the form of a weight or something. But from there, if you can, we're gonna wrap our hands around our toes, our big toes, and then pull up against them so that the chest is as upright as we can get it. We're gonna breathe into that a couple times. And notice the hips are fighting a little bit to open up. I guess close up. And then from there, we're gonna drop the chin, drop the chest, raise the hips, and pedal out the feet a little bit, loosen up the hamstrings, and then we'll sit it back down. We're gonna get 5 cycles there, coming back through pulling the chest up, proud. Take some long, deep breaths in there. And then we'll reverse it, chin back down, chest down, hips up. Wow. Tight. How are we feeling after yesterday's barbell day? If you want a nice barbell challenge, feel free to go back and do that one. Clean and jerk plus overhead lunges. And then we had our power snatch complex. That was a great one. If you're new here, we do a different workout every day. So if you go back through the channel, you've got at least 335 different workouts that you can try. All right, one more here, and then we're PVCing it. Hey, dog. All right, let's come on up. Whew. I'm feeling warm. All right, we'll grab our PVCs. We don't necessarily need to warm up any squatting or lunging, anything for today. We'll just take an opportunity to open up the shoulders. So you're just taking that stick with a nice wide grip. You know, maybe a snatch grip, meaning it's sitting in the hip crease with a nice straight arm. And then we'll take that overhead and just work it up and down, basically behind the shoulders. Find that tension. You can even just hang out there. You can get some rotations if you want. Just trying to keep the arms straight. It's tight. Hang out there for a second, loosen those things up. Mr. Terry, 11:30 is a 10. Ryan, 2 a.m. Yikes, 7 out of 10. What's happening? Why so late? Or early, I guess. Rapid changes in temperature cause my eye pressure to go up and down. Needs a drop for, oh geez. Yikes. Well, at least you know how to manage it, Mr. Terry. And Ryan is sweating in the warm-up. Perfect, perfect, okay. There's not much explanation needed today, but we will briefly talk about it. We're going 20 minutes today. This might be the most simple workout we've done so far. We've done this a few times though, and then we used to do a big topic. So all you're gonna do is pick up something heavy and awkward and not put it down. So I know Yaroslav's got a big heavy punching bag. You could use a heavy medicine ball if you had something nice and heavy. You could use a dumbbell, whatever. Basically all we're gonna do is carry it. You can carry it like a bear hug. You can carry it on your shoulder. I might do this a little bit if I get tired, maybe just try to hang out there on the legs. Doesn't last long, doesn't feel good. And that is it. Simple, simple. If you don't have a sandbag or like a, or like a heavy dumbbell or something that you could carry around that's awkward, you could fill up a backpack with books. You could wear a weight vest and carry something. Just try to load up basically with as much load as you can that you think you can hold on to for 20 minutes. And that's what we're gonna do. So, yeah, Yaroslav, I want to see that sandbag, or that punching bag. All right, let's maybe just, maybe I'll pick this up once before we go. All right, good enough, eh? Well, let's do this. Grab yourself a sip of water. Keep warming up a little bit if you need. Trusty yellow sandbag again, nice. Love it, Ryan. All right. I'm out of breath already. Today, we're picking up something heavy and carrying it for 20 minutes. That's it. Simple, but simple does not mean easy. This is a mental test as much as it is a physical one. Can you hang on the whole 20 minutes? Let's go. So, as I said, today is a simple one. That also being said, doesn't mean easy. So what you're gonna do is find something heavy. Be it a dumbbell or a sandbag or a bag of books. You're gonna pick it up and you're gonna hang on for 20 minutes straight. You can hold it in front like this, like a bear hug. You can put it up on the shoulder. You could try to get it on your back. You could even do some of these if you want. But the idea is within that 20 minutes, we don't put it down. So choose something challenging. Warm it up if you need. And we are going for 20 minutes of fun here, team. Feel free to let me know in the comments what we're carrying, what it weighs, and even how excited we are to do this. So, here we are. Get yourself ready, because we are doing it here. Get some tunes up. Alright, team. See you in 20 minutes. We're talking about the spring grind a little bit today. 10 seconds. Are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I feel like no one takes accountability. We're going. Convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes. So maybe what I'll do is I might toss this on the shoulder every 2 minutes or so, just switch it up. But really right now we're just focused on breathing, keeping the abs squeezed so we're not super arch leaning backwards. Abs and butt squeezed. And just breathe. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you and we'll talk about a little bit today is our I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Is our topic of the spring grind. And what that means, or what it means to me at least, is two things. One, as a farmer in the spring here, it gets busy, right? And there's certain things that need to happen in the spring so that the summer goes well. That's 1 minute. So that the fall goes well and we can reap, right? We can we can reap what we've sown. And the bigger picture is the spring, not necessarily of the year, but the spring of your life. And it's the same idea that there's a period in your life to build, to grow, to plant, to sow the seeds, to lay the groundwork, to build the foundation, whatever words you want to use. If there's a certain life that you want in the future, it takes work. It takes setting yourself up. It takes doing the prerequisites. And that's what this is all about, because that work is not glamorous. It's not sexy. It's not fun necessarily, unless you can make it fun. It's this. It's just put your head down. It's not technical. It's just do the work. So that's kind of what we're focused on here today, is doing something that reminds us that there are times in our lives where suck it up, where, I don't want to do this, but if I don't make the progress that I want. So we're really trying to think about that today while we're moving through here. That's 2.5 minutes down. Trying to keep our mindset on, hey, I don't need to put this down. I can teach myself to deal with discomfort for a greater purpose, right? Deal with the grind and the boredom of doing this task over and over again, or holding on to this thing over and over again, and knowing that if I stick with it, that the result that I'm aiming for is at the end. All right, I'm gonna put some shoulder here. Well, right, so whether it is the spring of the year, or call it the season of spring of your life, and there can be micro springs, right? So you would assume that spring is generally, when you're young and you're setting yourself up for the future, but there are different versions of that. So I'm 41 years old, and this is spring right now. We're building, we're working hard to build something so that in the future this sustains our family, sustains our kids. But if I don't put in the work now, there will be nothing to reap in the future, right? You can use the example of the nut, or the squirrels who are either working hard to store their nuts for the winter, or they're not. And if you're not, winter is gonna come. I listen to a lot of Jim Rohn, and this whole seasons of life is very Jim Rohn. If you think about it, like if you don't plant those seeds, be them literal or metaphorical, there's nothing to sow, there's nothing to reap, excuse me. In the end, when you're looking for that freedom for your family, or you're looking for peace of mind or financial success, whatever it is, it's not going to be there unless the upfront work is done. It's something that we talk about here every day on the 5 a.m. Squat Club. After we work out, we talk about an hour of action, an hour of homework towards your most important goals. And that's that same thing. It's laying the foundation, laying the groundwork, doing the redundant, not redundant, but the over and over, the boring, the stuff that you prefer to procrastinate for, that builds the life that you want. So if you're thinking about putting down that sandbag or whatever you're carrying, think about the value in sucking it up. The value in doing the hard thing even though you don't feel like it, right? That is discipline. This is building our ability to make the tough choices that we know we need to make. Do the work that we know we need to do to get to the place that we want to get to. Carl, good morning. Carrying 60 pounds of weight. Nice, Chris. Coming up on 6 minutes here. This position looks like cheating, but it is burning my quads. So it's not necessarily any easier. Whoa. So far, so good, guys. Stay with it. Carl, you working out this morning, or did you? Alright, I think I'm gonna put this back up on the shoulder. This may not look very exciting, it may not look very fancy, but this is building core endurance. It's building cardio, it's building grit. The more you can get uncomfortable and deal with it, the more resilient you become. Right? The more you can deal with adversity because you've been there before. Right? Part of our goal here in the morning is to build mental capacity for the rest of the day. Right? We're training here this morning for life. You know, I'm not in here caring about looking a certain way or building a certain muscle a certain way. I want to make my life easier. I want to make any physical task that I come up with at the farm here doable, easy. I want to make any mental challenge that I come up with easier because I know that I've dealt with challenges here in the morning in a controlled way, that I could now take that and know that I've got the capacity to deal with challenges. So we're training, yes, to improve our physical capacity, but also to train ourselves mentally to know that, hey, it's just another challenge. That's just another thing that I need to find a way to deal with and then work through step by step, because that's how we get through anything. 8 minutes down, 12 to go. If you're not uncomfortable yet, add some more weight, team. This should be pretty unpleasant. But stay with it. Focus on your breathing. Hang on. Once again, nothing fancy. You're just hanging onto that sandbag. If it's easy, you could take that sandbag, go for a walk. You could go up and down some stairs. You can alternate shoulders every 20 seconds. Make it harder if you need to. But if you've got a heavy enough bag, it's great to just hang on. I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot. I keep saying I'm gonna fill this thing up to 150. We'll get there. We'll get there. Had to rise up just so they could see me. 9 minutes down. I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning. Think about any time that you consider putting that thing down. Right? Anytime the thought goes through your head of, I want to take a break. I'm going to give you what I do first. Personally, I have an advantage here because I know you guys are watching. Right? That's accountability. And I know that obviously I can't see you guys, but just being here is accountability. Just knowing that we're all doing this together is going to give you at least a little motivation to not quit. Hopefully, seeing me do this helps you not quit as well. One of the biggest criteria for whether people have success when they start a new fitness program is, do they have accountability? Right? If you're changing your habit, especially, that's halfway, team. Then it's much easier if you've got someone doing it with you, holding you accountable. So obviously, that's why we do this live, that's why we do it as a team, so that we can hold each other accountable and help ourselves stick with challenges where we'd otherwise want to quit. Obviously, if you want a little more accountability, join our free school group, or even just follow us on Instagram and we can communicate directly. It sounds like YouTube was supposed to start at some point doing DMs, but we're not there yet. So if you want more accountability, if you want to chat, You can always message me on Instagram or on Skool, SKOOL. There are links. There's a link in the description. But just that reminder of like, hey, we're all doing this together. We're all here to suffer, but to build our lives at the same time. You know, a group of like-minded, busy people who want more. And know that in this moment when you want to put that thing down, that someone else is still working. That, hey, if you can do this, we can do it together. Any one of these mornings where you want to quit, right? Or even better, you don't want to get up. Obviously, you're not going to do that for the team. You're not going to wake up because you know there are people waiting. It might help, but more so, you want to do that because if you don't, you know where you go, right? When you quit the habits that you know that you should have, that's the beginning of your downslope, right? And then the amount of work to get back out of there is so much more, right? When I started this program, I was in a pretty bad place mental health-wise, and you know, had I started getting up early and then quit, who knows where we'd be now, right? That could have been a complete downward trajectory, and another year of downward spiraling would have been, who knows? Could I have lost my family? Probably. So know that whatever habits, whatever goals, whatever person you want to become are at the end of consistency, right? They're at the end of pointing yourself in the direction that you want to go and then doing the thing that you need to do. I think that our goals are not limited by our ability to figure out the plan to achieve them. They're limited by our mindset and our thoughts that, well, I probably couldn't do that, or that's too big, or I'm too old, or the government won't allow me to do that, or whatever. So what I'm saying is that once you've defined who you want to be, where you want to go, what your goals are, choose a realistic plan. I think maybe that's the key, and that's why we talk about progress over perfection. Because if you just choose a goal and you say, hey, I'm going to get there right now, you're going to fall off, right? That's going to be unrealistic because that's not how real goals are achieved, big ones. They're achieved through daily action. So as long as you choose a manageable bite size, right? Hey, what's the piece of work or the piece of action or the daily habit that I can create, that I can follow, that I'm going to do consistently, that I'm not going to fall off and try to get back on and off, that I'm going to be able to keep and stay with, because that's the only way that my goals are going to be achieved. And if you don't have any goals, like, that's the process. Determine what you want your perfect life to look like. Hey, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, like, what would be ideal? And then just work it backwards, right? Take the piece that's missing, that if you worked on that piece, 5 minutes left, that would make the other steps towards that life easier or unnecessary. A great book reference is called The One Thing by Gary Keller and somebody else, Papasak or something. And they clearly outline this process in defining your one thing. And what I mean by that is there's one action towards your goals that by doing so makes all other actions towards those goals easier or unnecessary. You know, for example, if my one goal is weight loss, and then the levers that I can consider pulling to make that goal accessible, say, are You know, reducing my, I don't know, my bread intake by 5%. And then, you know, another one is going to bed earlier. And then another one is, you know, spending less time on my phone. And then the last one is like completely going to meat and veggies, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. Obviously, that last one makes the other ones unnecessary. It makes all of the progress that you need such that the other ones kind of work themselves out as you do it. That wasn't a great example, but I think you get the idea that there's one lever that if you focus on that thing, it makes the other things happen or makes them irrelevant, right? So if I want to get fit and my levers that I could pull are, you know, I'm going to read more books. I'm going to get to bed earlier. I'm going to eat differently. And the last option is I'm going to exercise. Yeah, exercise, like those are all valuable things, but the exercise is the one that's going to lead to that outcome of fitness. So as long as you understand what your goal is, then you can direct yourself towards it in the most efficient, effective way with the one thing. And if you do that one thing, your goal literally becomes inevitable. So, last 2.5 minutes here, team. So that's what we're here about in the 5 a.m. squat club. And you know, who knew what this chat was gonna meander to, but if you've got somewhere you wanna be in your life, you know, maybe you think this isn't the program, but because it's a different exercise than you used to or whatever, but this is just about the system. It's just about building the habit of systematizing your night and then your morning so that you have the opportunity at least to build the life that you're looking for. Under 2 minutes, team, we're almost there. It's very distracting when you just talk the whole time, even though this is very unpleasant, but we're almost there. Great job. Remember, the point of this is really just to get used to discomfort. Sure, I've mentioned I listened to a lot of Alex Hormozy, and I was listening to him yesterday, and he was talking about how the goal is just hard work, right? It's not the journey, it's not the outcome, it's just, did I work hard? Obviously, if you're working hard in the wrong direction, that's not so good, but did I work hard? And if that's the metric, then it's easy enough to make it happen. Direct yourself, and then don't aim for happiness, don't aim for success, just aim for, did I work hard? And then that success is gonna come. All right, last minute. Hang on, this is the spring grind, as we'll call it. Putting your head down, doing the work so that you can reap the rewards in the future, so that you can live a life with capacity, ideally without injury, and being able to do the things that you want to do with your family, with your kids. At the same time, building a life through your homework, through your daily action towards your goals. It builds whatever you want. 20 seconds. 15, keep it up, team. 10. Almost there. 5, 3, 2, 1. Time. Wow. Great job, team. And that's, you know, that seems like it was a simple workout, but the value derived there, is very real. The grit that you get from that, the understanding, the faith in yourself that you can stick with something hard is really the main takeaway of a workout like that. If you appreciate this and you want to make that progress in your life, I think I talked about it enough. Join us every morning. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's go. All right, how we feeling, team? Let me know. Well, let's cool her down. we're gonna take it nice and easy here, probably get into a child's pose. Uh-oh, here comes the dog. So I feel like I did a lot of blabbing today about our goals and our homework and all that, but you know, we're still gonna do it again. So all I'm gonna do here is basically sit on my shins, and this dog is gonna make this nearly impossible, but sitting on the shins, heels are wide enough that your hips can kind of sit between them, and then Maple, go, let's go, come here. And then what you're gonna do is drop the chest down. Ooh. You probably feel some tension in the low back there. You can drop the forehead on the floor. You can, geez, dog. If you got a dog, you can just hope that she's getting out of the way. Okay, let's go, come on, over here. Here, go over this way. All right, and we'll briefly talk about the spring grind again. The idea that if you don't, actually, let's do this. I got a little clip for you. We just never watched it. Here.
Whatever you reap is what you've sown.
This is Jim Rohn, if you're unfamiliar.
The crop, who do you look up? Answer. Whoever planted it. And where do you find who planted your crop? Answer. In the mirror.
That's
whatever
it.
You reap.
Oh, where are we at here? Sorry. So, if you heard what he was saying there, you know, he talks a lot about the seasons of life. And what he was saying there is that you reap what you sow. And everybody's heard that expression, but I think oftentimes we, you know, we take that for granted, and we figure, oh, well, I can do it later, or you know, I'll do it tomorrow, whatever. And what he's saying there is that, you know, if you don't, like, it's on you, is what he's saying, right? Our first mental rep in the morning is I am responsible, and that's what he's saying, right? If you don't have anything to reap in the fall, like, who do you look at? And it's whoever planted the seeds or didn't. And you know, if they didn't plant the seeds, like, who are you gonna blame? And he says, you know, look in the mirror, because if your life is not what you want, it's because you haven't planted the seeds, right? We haven't done the upfront work to reap the rewards that we want. And it doesn't mean that because you haven't do that, or if you haven't done that, it's too late. Today's day one, right? I mean, we're talking about planting seeds, and I think I might have even said this yesterday, that the best time to plant a tree, you know, we talk about fruit trees here because we're trying to grow our food. You know, the best time to plant a fruit tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time is now. So yes, I'm 41 years old, and you know, are we going to have fruitful trees out there for my whole life? No. But for the next generation, yeah. And then the next generation after that, yes. So do the groundwork so that the future is what you want, or at least has the potential to be what you want through doing that work. And that's literally what this is about. We talk about this every day, right? This topic is very appropriate for our theme. And you know, if you want something, just like this workout, put your head down, do the work, and then you will see the reward of it over time as that work, you know, comes to fruition. Call it what you want. So we're not gonna rag on that too much. We will talk about the summer eventually, and summer is the same thing, right? Once those seeds are in the ground, like, it's watering. It's boring. But that work needs to be done. Same thing, right? We're putting in the steps. Once you've, you know, call spring defining your goal, and then the summer is that step over and over and over again. Nina, good morning. So let's watch a couple clips from the farm here from yesterday, and then we'll call her a day. So yesterday, the girls were out at their homeschool play group, and I had some time to get some fencing done. So basically what we're doing here is trying to line up the holes. So those are our some fence that actually Jason helped build last year. I don't think he's here this morning though. And they are pre-drilled with holes for the fence wires. What I'm doing is taking, basically, not very accurate, but taking measurements of how high those holes are so that I can attach insulators onto that wooden post and you may not understand what I'm talking about, but the next video makes it a little clearer. Put insulators onto that wooden post that are at the same height as the holes on those other pre-drilled fence posts. So what I'm doing is putting a plastic, although I hate the plastic insulators, we got to find a better way for these, an insulator on the wood post so that that wire, because those will be electrified eventually, aren't contacting the wood and grounding it out. So I'm basically taking some fencing staples. If you're unfamiliar, this is the TDC hammering. Fencing staples, they're basically a U of steel, very sharp on both ends, and we use them for fencing. But putting on the insulators, insulators will hold the wires away from the cedar post. So this is a longer video than I'm going to show, so disregard the rest of it. And then, what have I got? I think I've got one more here. I don't remember what oh, this one. This is more fence work, but this is a different piece. This is building an H brace. So we do a horizontal post between two verticals to support the tension of the fence. And what I'm doing now is I'm putting in, I don't know if I have a name for this thing, but it's a piece of steel. It's that threaded piece of steel that holds the cross beam on. So I'm going to put a hole in here. Oh, there's the dog. Maybe I'll fast forward it a little bit. And then once the hole is drilled, I'm going to take that piece of threaded steel that I just put down there and shove it in the hole. Probably bang it in with the hammer. Get it in tight, and then I'm going to cut it, sorry. Jody says that's a long drill bit. Yeah, I think it's 18 inches. It's the only thing that'll go through those posts. So I'm currently hammering that steel rod in. Oh, you can hear it now. Very exciting. And then I'll get the Sawzall, or the reciprocating saw, whatever term you like to call those things. And then we're going to chop it. This is going to be noisy. Camera shaking. It's kind of a neat camera effect. It's like waves. Thank you for the reactions, by the way. And then I'll put a little hole in the horizontal post, and then it'll slide on there, and then same thing on the other end. So that is the Amelie. Good morning. How you been? So that's we're making progress here. It is warming up, and spring is on its way, and the work starts and does not end until the fall. So we're getting into it. You know, call it the spring grind, call it the summer grind. If I want to have food for my family in the fall in the form of, you know, healthy animals, healthy meat, then I need to continue doing this infrastructure work on the farm, right? I mean, whatever our goals are, we have action steps that will get us there. We just need to, one, decide what our goals are, and then two, commit ourselves to making that progress. All right, team, so you guys did a fantastic job this morning. That workout was not easy, and as usual, you guys have been fantastic. So tomorrow, what do we got? Tomorrow is, Active Recovery Day. I'm looking forward to that. But quick shout outs to Carl, Nino, Emily, Ryan, Talia, Chris, Yaroslav, Jody, Jabes, Mr. Terry. You guys have been fantastic. I really appreciate you taking making the choice to improve your fitness and ideally your lives through this homework. And I love that we get to do it together. You guys are fantastic. Have yourselves an amazing day. Maple, please stop kicking me. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.